Hey guys, it's Chels, and today we're going to be going over my P&L for this week on my $500 to 10K account challenge. If you've been following me for some time, you do know that I actually have started this challenge about 4 weeks ago, where I deposited $500 into my broker and then going to be able to compound that the right way with actually paying myself weekly until I hit $10,000 in the account. Because I understand that there's a lot of you that don't have necessarily the funds to be throwing in, a couple grand to $5,000 in a live account to be able to compound. And it is absolutely possible to be able to compound a smaller account. And it's just a very humbling experience for me, because I was once where maybe a lot of you guys are 7 years ago, trying to make trading work and feeling like I couldn't do it and feeling like the only issue was capital. But really, the foundation of everything is discipline and really building the skill set first. And so that's what I want to showcase when it comes to growing this account, that when you really build the right foundation and you take trading seriously and you really commit, you really put the time and commitment into that, you're going to see results. And this skill set is something that you're going to have for life. So I just want to remind everybody of that. Anyway, if you do want to trade on the broker that I'm using right now, they do offer a 100% deposit bonus on Trade Locker, meaning whatever you do deposit in there, they will double that and it will be added to your equity, which is essentially more leverage for you to use. And ultimately, it's what helps me really scale my account to what it is now, with paying myself every single week and just being able to get it to where it's at within the last 4 weeks. If you want to, again, check them out, I will have a link in the description below. So going through with the trades here, as you guys can see, the start of my week didn't start off so great. The start of this week was December 1st that I did start trading. And we see that I did take sells on gold here, ended up losing that. So I have a loss of 135.50 cents, 132.65 cents, 131.80 I went ahead and took US 30 buys the next morning during New York session, and I put multiple positions for that as well on the first. So I made $130.85, $30.95, and $61.20 for that first day of the week. Going into the second time that I did trade this week, I went ahead and also bought US 30 during New York session. And from that, I put in 3 positions open on the third for US 30 buys. And that was $192.90, $187.65, $239.50. Oh, sorry, another one for $214.30 as well. And it says the first here ended up leaving a runner from the first, and so this kind of held through as well. Going into the fourth, guys, I went ahead and took a bunch of sell positions on gold because I did see gold pulling back. So from that, I was able to profit a good amount, right? I believe this was overall, with all the positions that I took on gold here, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.05s. And again, being super responsible with that, I was, I trailed my stops and everything, and I was floating this. All this together equaled out to about $1,200 in profit, which I did end up closing. We are going to review some of the trades that I did take on the charts as well, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of this type of setups that I was looking for. But that was really, really good in gold. The next session, I did go ahead and enter buys on US 30, and that's actually what I closed out this morning to end the week on a Friday, right? So I had 6 positions on US 30 as well. And today was CPI news to end the week. The amount that these positions added up to was about $700 for US 30. So that's kind of how I ended my week, guys. I started this week with around $2,500, and I ended the week with a balance of $3,456.10. Keep in mind, I also made a withdrawal of 1K this week. So if I had left the 1K in my balance, I would be close to $5,000 of my balance. Honestly, for the last 5 weeks, because this is my 5th week trading this $500 account, if I had left all the money in there that I withdrew for the last 5 weeks, my account probably would have been at almost 10,000 already, okay? But I want to show you guys that even though you're taking the best growth is slow growth, and even though you're taking your time to get your account to $10,000, it's still possible to withdraw weekly, that you can, and you get paid. A lot of people don't even get paid weekly. If you get paid bi-weekly, like just doing this account alone, you can still absolutely pay yourself a good amount. And I was paying myself over $1,000 every single week. So can you imagine how much an extra $1,000 would actually help you out on top of what you're already doing? So that's why it's just very important to pay yourself. Paying yourself is reminding yourself that you put in the hard work to really learn this skill set, and that's eventually what you want. You want a consistent income that you can rely on from trading. And so I believe that it's just very important to continue to pay yourself. Again, I would have almost been at $10,000 and hit my goal within 4 weeks if I didn't do any withdrawals, but I did, because it is still possible to make withdrawals as you're doing this challenge. Anyway, I'm also going to insert a video here of me actually doing the withdrawal from my broker, and you guys can kind of see that I submitted the withdrawal and I withdrew 1K. It was a little less than that because of the fees, but that's the amount that I did walk away with this week. Last week, I was able to withdraw, I believe it was 1K. The week before that, 2K. So now let's get into the trades. Okay, guys, so this is one of the setups that I did take on US 30. This was one of the buys, and I was eyeing buys on US 30 pretty much all week, because when we go to the weekly here, I still do believe that coming into next week, the start of next week, we should continue to break all-time highs on US 30. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that today during CPI, so we did went ahead and wicked just above that 4-hour closure, 48,000 area. On the daily and also the 4-hour here. So we just wicked above, but I still, again, believe that we will end up taking all-time highs. Whether that happens next week, I'm not sure when that will happen, but that's just currently what I'm seeing on the weekly here. But like I said, I was kind of spawning buys on US 30 the whole week. So if we go to the 15-minute here, this setup is what I took today during New York. I didn't get in here, but I was eyeing this area, got in around this area before price shot up. But my first setup and buys on US 30 for the week, before those gold sells, was right here, right? So I was looking at this area right here. This was a POI on the higher time frame, and so my entry was around 47,550. So my entry was right around here before we went ahead and broke to the upside here. So this was a beautiful setup. Again, I use a lot of the higher time frame analysis and just trend to give me a better idea and confidence of where price is going, because higher time frames matter, right? And so again, looking at the 1 hour here, I'm gonna go back. Actually, I should probably just use a replay. Let me just use this replay tool so we don't have to keep going back. Okay, cool. Right, so again, the 1 hour here. Now this was, it was a little risky just for the fact that when price came down here, this was a really big liquidity sweep. As you can tell on the 1 hour, it is a long wick. And if you know me, you know that liquidity is just number one to me. Once you understand liquidity, it will change the game for you, change everything for you. So when I seen this happen, obviously, I wanted it to actually come into about 47,440. And I do have this POI here marked on the 1 hour. It did come into that. However, I did wait for a second because there was manipulation here as the way the 1 hour closed, and that's the only reason why I didn't get in at this POI, even though I did have it marked. So I went ahead and waited a little longer, and once I saw price actually starting to react off of that on a lower time frame, like the 15-minute, I do see that price went ahead and tapped right back into this area. So we have a simple break and retest in this zone around 47,400. And as price started to pull back up, we went ahead and created this wick here. So when I zoomed in, right? So price again had a break and a retest back into this zone. As price was pushing up and this candle was created here, I noticed that it didn't fully break above the highs here. So that automatically told me that I need to be a little bit more patient and wait for that retest back into a lower time frame range. And as soon as price was coming back in, what did it create? It created another 15-minute POI area for me. Whatever and however you look at price, this could have also been a demand zone for some of you. It could have been a support zone for some of you. This was literally just a regular POI for me. A POI I like to refer to as just a point of interest. And so price tapped into that, and that's where I found that next entry. And of course, there was so much built up liquidity just in this area alone, around 47,600. And so again, along with the higher time frame confluence that we are bullish, I went ahead and took this position. So this was a really, really nice trade on US 30. Okay, so now we're going to be going over the gold sells that I did take as well this week. This was another really good one. The total positions that I had on this trade ended up to around 1,200 altogether in profit. So as I'm looking at gold here, guys, overall I was definitely bullish. I definitely felt like gold was going to go higher, but I did start to see some exhaustion here on the 4-hour around 42.40 area. So I didn't really like that. It did have a lot of choppiness in wicks, and I did realize as soon as price tapped into this 42.40 area, it did have that liquidity sweep. It didn't have a break of structure to the downside just yet on a higher time frame, but it definitely did on a lower time frame. So that was enough confirmation for me to start looking for sells at least until this area here. So I was actually also eyeing on the 4-hour to see if we can get a reaction at this area around 41.90 area, 41.90 to 41.95. Okay, just this area alone to see if we can get a test into that, riding sells to around that area there. So that was the next target for me to see where price would likely react before continuing bullish again, or we could have gone lower again to around 41.80 to 41.75. But this was just the main area that I was looking for, also because there was equal lows sitting just beneath or just above this next POI area or zone. So once again, when I saw this initial liquidity sweep here and we didn't get that break of structure on the higher time frame, price just kind of started ranging here again, creating that liquidity in order to continue lower. Okay, so that's how I like to look at the market. And so once I saw that, again, I was just super patient, and my entry was here around 42.15 to 42.16 area. I waited patiently. Right after this initial sweep on the 1-hour, again, didn't break structure but created that liquidity to the downside. As price started retracing back into this 1-hour range, I patiently waited for another sweep of liquidity. Okay, so again, I'm very strict on liquidity and how I look at it, so I wanted to wait for another sweep. After the sweep happened, then I waited for a break of structure for extra confirmation. But on the lower time frame, again, when you're getting in that sweep, and you can see here on the 5-minute, when you get in on that initial sweep, and this is just me, I like to take risks. So whenever I do see an initial sweep, especially on the lower time frame here, I'm usually in there because this also provides a really good risk to reward. Because if you see that initial sweep on the lower time frame, you can then place your stop loss just above that last candle on the lower time frame, which gives you a better risk to reward ratio than you would taking it on a higher time frame. And so that was my thought process behind this right here, being able to see that sweep. Then right after I see that sweep, I placed stops right above the high. And then when this third candle came in and it showed me that it was a bearish engulfing, this gave me a lot more confidence and volume started kicking in at this time. And of course, riding down that wave and to target into 41.90 area, okay, which is the same area where price was starting to build liquidity on the 1-hour time frame as well as the 4-hour time frame as that target to react at before we continue buying again. So it was really good. It was a really good target to look for. And just remembering, guys, that when you look for targets, those are really areas that you want to TP at. Your next target of where price would likely react would be really good targets to hit. But there's really not much to say about this trade. This trade was really good. Obviously another banger. It's very simple and easy to understand. There's nothing complicated about this setup. This setup was pretty clear, pretty textbook clear. So there wasn't much choppiness, but we were within this range between golds, between 42.40 area and again 41.90 area. So it was kind of back and forth, and we finally kind of had a break to the downside again. This sweep just solely happened because of liquidity as well. So that's how I was looking at it. But yeah, guys, these were my two probably two of the best trades this week. Again, I only traded about 3 times this week, but this was another great week for me. Again, was able to withdraw 1K and just showing you all that it is possible to start with a smaller account. And so I hope that this inspires a lot of you to start your own growth challenge and really challenge your mental and being able to give you confidence that you can do this even with a small amount of money. You don't need a lot of money to get started at all. You just need the time, the commitment, and the discipline, and you'll make it happen regardless. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to keep up on more updates on how this account is going, please go ahead and hit the notification bell as well as subscribe to my channel. I will catch you in the next update video.